What would be your advice? Like you came in back in 1999, but that was a quite different scenario at that point. But someone who is trying to migrate to Australia in recent world, in today's day, what would be your advice to them being migrating to Australia?
I think there's a couple of things. I think for me is, and I still use the journey, is what you do before you migrate, what you do here, and then when you arrive, and then what you do after that. I think these days, unlike in our time, or my time particularly, there was no information available. So we came as blind as we could be and just whatever we could picture our world. I grew up in a home where we didn't even have TVs at home. So Fiji, at that time, they didn't have national TV. So believe it or not, I think it came a little bit later. But now there is so much information out there. My advice for people is to research out a little bit about Australia, about the culture, about the community networks, about, try to think about it, where they're going, what support network is available, who they can reach out to before even they come in here. So that makes it easy for them to, when they come in, that they can have some support network they connect to, because there's some easy and less costly options for people to go in. Like one of the things is when I just go and listen to people talk to things like what we're just talking about inspires me, and I feel that will inspire people. So there are low cost options for people to go when they come in. Second thing is, when you come here, know that you might have to step back one step to go two steps forward. So I think one of the things you need to be planned for that, not just financially, but emotionally is the biggest thing. That if you do have to step back, just tune in inside you is how you can maintain that resilience for your own self at that time when that might, like I know that us in our cultures, when we talk to people, family back at home, like they look at you at one way and you are always put in that pedestal and you go like, okay, I'm actually not that. So how are you going to deal with that scenario? Second thing is never give hope. So one thing I will advise is a lot of people want to go to a very high job or match their job what they had. Yeah, go for it. Don't stop doing that. But also look at other opportunities that might here. It might not be in your field. It might be something else. Take that as a fast cut so that if you haven't got, like if you have lots of funds to support you, then of course you continue finding what you've got. But if you haven't got a lot of funds to support you, then find whatever job that you can to get started, because as we just talked about, no one looks down on you if you have got a different job to what you have. But while you do that, keep going for your dream. Don't stop there. Whatever your dream is, and maybe think through about what is that dream looks like. Your dreams look like getting a status, getting bigger in a corporate sector, or even if you wanted to be a musician or whatever else, or your dream might be just money. It doesn't matter what it is, but keep that vision in front of you and keep going on it. I think that's the key things that I will advise someone.
Perfect, excellent, beautiful. So let's say now we came to Australia, we got settled here. Now let's talk about something more about Australia. So Australia is known as its beautiful landscape and outdoor activities and everything. So and Fiji is also beautiful. So yeah, when you came to Australia, anything that you fall in love with, like, oh wow, this is something I love in Australia.
The nature, Krunal, one of the things is when I first did, and it also connected me to the land. I think when you migrate, you're uprooted from one land and then you are put in another land. And I think I was lucky because I was doing forestry as a job. So that got me to moving from one sawmill to another. I got to move around quite a bit in Victoria, but also in my own time. I would just go to the beach or I would go drive out in the country. And coming from Fiji, where it is quite windy, given its sort of hilly area, I was so fascinated by these straight, roads that you could just drive onto. And I still get fascinated with that. Like, you just... So I think the nature here, it is so much to see. And I've lived here since, like 2001. 23 years, but I still haven't seen enough, I find. There's always something new that I get to see in Australia, and I want to just continue seeing that. So that's the amazing bit.